Have you ever shit yourself as an adult? If so, what is your story? Never trust a fart, especially if you've had your gallbladder out. Dude. I wish someone had told me the side effects of IBS. I only got, you may have to avoid fatty foods a few weeks after the surgery, but you'll be fine after. What a load of BS. No pun intended. If it started after your gallbladder was removed, you probably have BAD, not IBS. Bile acid diarrhea can be kept in check easily, well, somewhat, with cholestyramine powder. 1000% this. I had my gallbladder out and was mostly fine for a while, but then started getting bad stomach cramps and bad diarrhea. Just used to sort of suck it up, but after trusting a fart in the supermarket and having to put my shopping down to buy a pair of jeans, boxers, wet wipes, I finally went to the doctor referred to a consult who, after listening to my story, said, I know what's wrong, take these and we'll do the test later. Cholestygal tablets, cholesevolum hydrochloride, have, quite literally, saved me. I can go out and eat without worrying. I don't get the cramps. They have seriously changed my life. I was leaving a music practice to go to my home about 10 minutes away. I thought I could make it home no problem, but there was a gas station nearby, so I decided to stop. I go into the bathroom, and there is a line for the toilet. No big deal. I'll just head home. As soon as I got into my car, my bowels reacted like a jilted lover. Holding it was no longer an option. I speed home, lying to myself that I can make it. Just when all hope is lost, I see a racetrack. Perfect. Not only can I poop here, but this gas station is a new construction. The bathrooms are probably really nice. I speed walk into the bathroom, desperately trying to maintain as much dignity as I can. I make it inside and see that the fucking toilet is being used. At the point, I'm in animalistic mode. I have no rationale, only primitive need. I then made the wrong but necessary decision to shit in the urinal. I held my anus about a foot away from the receptacle. It was like a shotgun blast. I've never been to that location again, and I really feel bad for whoever had to clean it up. It was a terrible thing to do, but I had no choice. I find the concept of how that experience was for the person who was in the stall so funny. Taking a calm dookie, hearing you enter, a quick buckle coming off, the ass shotgun blast, and an undisclosed speed exiting the bathroom. A mix of alarm and curiosity coming out of that stall, witnessing the answers in on the urinal. They probably have that memory as burned into their mind as you do LAEO. Ate bad grocery store sushi, shit my leggings in the parking lot while putting my cart away. Me, an adult, called my mom crying like she could do something about it. This is hilarious. I also call my mom in these situations. The same. I always overshare with my mom. I was sitting at work near my boss and had been feeling unwell but not horribly so when I suddenly felt a wetness creeping out. No warning or force applied, just wet. I looked at my boss and said, I think I should go home, I've just shit myself. He didn't believe me at first, but let's face it, it didn't take much convincing, and a day later, I was in hospital, nil by mouth, and on IV broad-spectrum antibiotics for an unknown virus that had inflamed my abdominal organs to the point where my right lung couldn't expand, and I couldn't stand up straight without excruciating pain. If that ever happens to me, I hope I can deal with it as calmly as you did. Sometimes shit just happens. Honestly, I felt so tired and sick that I just hit fuck it. My boss at the time was an awesome dude as well. Came past to visit me a couple of times. Funny thing was, I was convinced in myself that I would just get better, so I went home and my sister came to visit. She took one look at me and said, either I am taking you to hospital or I am calling an ambulance. Lucky she did, or who knows how bad it would have got. Got lost in a corn maze at the county fair after having too many deep-fried Twinkies. Why didn't you just shit on the ground? Some child with a candy apple steps in shit. Let's just say I can say I haven't shit my pants since I was 44. I am currently 44. By any chance, is there shit in your pants at this very moment? Not at the moment. Yet. Norovirus. Yeah, like 3 weeks ago. I ain't proud. First thing in the morning after I finally slept. Fart was not a fart. Yep, it hit me hard during my father-in-law's funeral. Middle of the eulogy, made a break for the bathroom and puked my guts up. Threw up a bunch more before getting back home. Shit myself whilst asleep. Fucking awful day all around. Same here in December. Was throwing up and lost control of both ends. The Screaming Eagle. Last month for me. Never thought I'd experience projectile vomiting into the toilet at the same time as projectile shitting onto the bathroom floor. Life goes on. Just came to post that. 24/7 vomiting and runs. And no sleep for 7 days. Utter hell. Oh, thanks to loser neighbor with sick kids asking for free babysitting. No good deed goes unpunished. Gallbladder infection and I didn't know it. Woke up actively shitting in my sleep. I've never shot out of bed and into a shower more quickly in my life. And it was from a dead sleep too. Realized I needed help, and so I got an appointment with a doctor that morning and got the ball rolling. No more gallbladder. That's a shitty way to learn about something like that. In all seriousness, I'm glad you're okay. What an absolute nightmare. I'm glad it'll never happen again for you. I was joking with some buddies about a game show idea called Shart or Fart when I accidentally shit myself as I was mimicking someone lifting up their leg to fart. Commitment to the pitch. That's right, this time it was a shart. Anyways, where's your bathroom? Landed in Mexico late and was amazed at the midnight buffet. Got up next day about 9 a.m. and walked out to the beach. After 10 minutes in the sweltering sun, I had a run, but El Baño was a bridge too far. Hobbled into the ocean, dropped my drawers, and detonated. I heard a woman scream. Guess she thought I was trying to kill dolphins. Damn waves slapped warm lettuce into my hair, so I had to swim sideways. I held my breath and kept my eyes closed to swim out of the brown cloud. Fucking current moved as fast as I did. After 10 yards, I was still in the middle of it, so I dove down and out, fluffing my hair as I swam like a two-tailed marlin. Eventually, I made it out of the blast wave and into fresh water, a disaster I'll never forget. I'm a diver. One beautiful morning, we're in sunlit aquatic splendor. Only about 10 meters down, one of the after-party bros gestures to wait and disappears behind a coral head. I didn't think much of it. We're a group of 6, now loitering along a very active reef on an amazing morning. One of the other divers motions in the direction the first guy went, and everyone starts swimming in that direction as the first guy comes back around the coral, motioning everyone to turn back to where they came from. No deal. We all cruise around that coral into a mixed cloud of tea-colored water and hundreds of fish of every hue attacking the cloud. Turn to look at the dumper diver. He's besieged by little fish. He's trying to hold the legs closed on his shorts. Nemo and gang are trying to get to the source. Probably the funniest thing I've ever seen underwater. Fish love shit. El Mao, warm poop lettuce and hair is disgusting imagery. Thank you for the laugh. Sorry for the dolphins and other ocean humans. I have a mild form of Crohn's disease, and during a flare-up, the result can be stools that barely qualify as stools. More like bloody snot. It becomes a lot harder to hold in when you've got a gas buildup. In fact, not too long ago, I got up in the morning and went over to the toilet to take a piss, and with a mild amount of muscle release I had to do in order to evacuate my bladder, the other end joined in. BTW, to those in the same situation, if there's any concern that your fart might be accompanied with something less gaseous, consider putting yourself in a butt-in-the-air position before trying it. It doesn't exactly look or feel all that dignified, but it allows you to expel uncomfortable gas buildup while mitigating the risk of an accompanying mess. I worry that I'd just rocket shit all over whatever's behind me. I was trying to extend a fart and got more than I bargained for. I have shit myself, I would say, 4 to 5 times as an adult. The first time was when I was 18. I was on a date with my now best friend. It was like our second or third date, and we went to dinner and then decided to walk off our meal by roaming around Best Buy. I was in the DVD section and felt the all too familiar feeling of IBS bubble guts. I knew I needed to let one rip, so I did everything I could to put some distance between me and my SO so I could vent my keister. I barely bared down and felt the sensation of hot liquid shit immediately Jackson Pollock the inside of my panties. So, because he and I were so newly dating, I casually pointed towards the restroom and beelined it walking like Tina Belcher. Super casual, I ended up just throwing out my undies and cleaning up as fast as possible so that God forbid he didn't know I was a human being who shits. We were together for 7 years. He still has no idea. I once shit myself at the age of 13. Due to the fact that the school bathroom was full and all the doors broke. I was trying to wait until the end of lunch but couldn't hold it, so I basically tried to pass it off by acting natural. Safe to say people did notice the smell. Yes, 3 times, same day. So college, I had a stomach bug, and I got tired of being inside an apartment had a basketball court. Went outside and had to fart, or so I thought. It felt like a bubble that I thought would pop. It did not. Just a ball of poo. I trusted that same fart 2 more times in 1 single day. TLDR, never trust a fart. Fool me once, shame on poo. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, won't get fooled again. 2 types of people in this world. Ones that have shit themselves and liars. I can't believe this is a conversation that I'm participating in. First time ever, at least since I was a toddler. Had a baby, and 6 hours later, we picked up a curbside Olive Garden order. A few hours later, my stomach starts feeling weird. But I just had a baby, so I didn't think anything of it. I start getting gas pains, but I'm in the bed breastfeeding the baby. I think I'll try to go after I feed him. Nope. Thankfully, I was like 12 hours postpartum and wearing a diaper. I just realized that's the first time I ever wore an adult diaper and I put it to use. Those cramps you're having, that's shit. Also, when you really shit yourself in your truck, everything just pushes its way through every crack and crevice. It smooshes past your cock and balls and makes a big pile of shit right in your lap. Nothing you can do about it. Once it starts, it doesn't stop. You drive the rest of the way home wondering how you are going to make it from your parking spot and into your house. You don't even notice the smell. Had nowhere else to go because the bathroom was occupied. I grabbed a garbage bag and went to the garage, but why-eck the rest. I was once on the phone with a client and suddenly felt sick. I instantly knew it was coming out both ends. But I had to stay on the call. I had been expecting the call for days at this point. So I muted my mic and threw up in my trash can. Unmute. Yeah, Tony, I agree. Mute. Then I shit in the can too. Back and forth between muting, unmuting, shitting, puking, talking to the client. I finished right about as she was done yapping at me. Hung up, took my poopy pukey trash can straight to the dumpster, locked up, and went home. Never told anyone what happened, just went to Home Depot and got a new can a couple days later. My ex-boyfriend had to do this once. Crying, shitting into a Walmart bag, fucking calls me, and I know it was the wrong thing to do, but when he told me his predicament, I fucking cackled. Like, dude, that is pretty funny, you gotta admit. My wife and I went out to a steakhouse for dinner. While placing my order, I specifically asked the server about mushrooms, because several of the dishes included them, and I have an allergy/intolerance that gives me some wicked GI issues. He assured me that one entree I looked at did not come with mushrooms on it, so I went ahead and ordered it. He was either mistaken or dishonest, because as I was driving home, I felt the volcano brewing in my gut. The restaurant was probably 30 minutes from home, and my wife and I had met there after work. So I was flying solo trying to get home before the eruption. I made it to my driveway with my cheeks squeezed as tight as I could, waddled to the porch, and in my panic proceeded to screw up the front door code multiple times. As I was trying to calm my hands to get the code right, I felt the slightest bit of butt juice leak out. As anyone who has ever dealt with this knows, once the dam leaks, it's all over. I proceeded to unleash hell in my pants right there on my own front porch. It was down my pants, my socks, my shoes, everywhere. I did a waddle of shame into the garage where I completely disrobed and put everything that I had been wearing straight into a trash bag. There were some old towels out there that I used to wipe myself off, enough to make it to the shower. I cranked the water up as hot as I could stand and stayed in there until the next wave hit and I had to get back on the toilet. I called the restaurant the next day, and they said that, although there were no mushrooms per se, mushrooms were an ingredient in the sauce. The manager refunded the meal and tried to offer us a free dinner if we came back again, but no way in hell was I eating there again. I spent the next 24 hours unleashing Krakatoa on my bathroom and had to take a couple days off work because I was so weak from the massive amounts of diarrhea and vomiting. Yes, my wife and I traveled to Greece last summer and did a food tour. Part of the food tour, we got to sample camel meat, delicious but very chunky. Later that night, I completely and utterly shat myself through my shorts, and it seeped through to the mattress. I was so embarrassed, and then doubly embarrassed when you had to call the front desk. Per my wife's wishes, hello, I accidentally defected, pooped. The bed? Slow pause. Excuse me, sir. Click asterisk. Goes on speaker. Can you please repeat yourself? I shat myself in the bed. Last time was senior year of high school. Was having a farting contest in the lunchroom. You know what happened. No one knew though. I just got up, walked out the side door, went to my car, and drive home. I got really drunk one night, then smoked some weed, needed to puke, ran to the toilet, started puking so hard I started shitting myself. I was trying to clean myself up and my buddy got worried about me and came into the bathroom to check on me. I was covered in shit and puke, and he was horrified. I looked up at him and was like, dude, I shit myself. Got really drunk at Nin Show in Orlando in 2013 and had to leave because I was passing out. At the time, I was also prescribed Xanax and Valium, to which I was abusing heavily. Wife and I got back to hotel room and I passed out. Woke up in the morning with shit in the bed and all over in the bathroom. It was my wife's birthday, now my ex-wife. She was not happy. She was crying when she realized what the smell was. Not the finest moment in my life. Yes, I had my first colonoscopy in August of last year. I didn't realize how potent the mix of prep tablets and that drink stuff would be. I started as instructed at 2 p.m. At 3:08, I felt my guts twinge and made it just past the bathroom door. Floodgates hit hard. I didn't leave the bathroom for about 3 hours. My husband had to do the prep for 5 days pre-colonoscopy. Day 4, they called and said, We have changed your appointment for 5 days' time. So he had 10 days total of prep, plus 5 days of very light diet after the colonoscopy. Not a great Christmas that year. I hadn't even started the prep drugs yet, but I'd been on a liquid diet for like 18 hours, and sigh, trusted a fart. The first time I sharted as an adult, I was working on a TV show, and right after breakfast, I had a fart that felt a little funny. I went to the porta potty and saw a small brown spot in my underwear. I wiped it as much as I could and just lived with it for the next 14 hours until I could go home. The second time, I was at a storage unit getting equipment together for a movie I was working on, when I straight up shat myself. I was wearing shorts, and some of it legit fell out on the floor. I grabbed a roll of paper towels and cleaned up as much as I could. Luckily, I was able to go straight home after I was done. I got colon cancer, was on radiation and chemo. Used to just go stand in the shower to avoid having to clean up when it was bad. Shit myself while begging a BK cashier to unlock the bathroom door at lunch rush. Shit myself in the hospital waiting room. Shit myself driving to radiation several times. Every time, it was exactly as mortifying and embarrassing as the last time. Every time I cried and hated myself. I was ready to just off myself toward the end of treatment, but my wife and kids kept me going. Now I'm 3 years post-surgery and no longer shitting myself. So mostly worked out in the end. No evidence last scan, 2 more years to go. Fuck yeah. Congratulations, and never be embarrassed. It's success stories like yours that keep others going. Same with those who support those battling cancer. I know this is very different, but my cat has a very rare and aggressive form of bladder cancer. Every study I read about it, all cats were dead within a month of the diagnosis. Incontinence typically being one of the main reasons the cats were just put down. Well, Captain Fuzzers was diagnosed 14 months ago and is still going strong. Tumor is still there, but is shrinking with every treatment. He had a very successful surgery to remove a lot of it, and he actually is on his way to being able to ring that bell. And 3 days ago, we had his feeding tube removed, and he's eating by himself. He's the happiest 15-year-old kitty, and totally worth all of it. He is my heart, and I wouldn't trade the time I've been given with him for anything else in this world. I've learned how precious it is. Long story is that you'll never truly understand how much you being here means to others, but it matters. And the world is better with you in it. Thank you for being so brave. Also, Captain Fuzzers expects nothing but the best from you, which includes your presence. Similar story here, but with ulcerative colitis. Spent a good year constantly having to worry about where the nearest bathroom was. It's an incredible mental drain. Sometimes I would have less than a minute to respond. That sounds like hell, and I'm sorry you went through that. Also, genuine question, do you purposefully avoid using the letter F? So is that just a wild coincidence? Check my comment history. I'm sure I type it sometimes. Bro, what the hell? I went back a couple days. Not a single F. This is actually fascinating. I'm glad you're still here. And no longer shitting yourself, BC. I know that would wreak havoc on my mental health too. My dad too, when he had to remove a mass in his colon and me from removing my gallbladder, he rocked his adult diapers for a while. Yet, we would still fight over the closest bathroom when we were desperately both trying not to shit ourselves. He's fine now. I, on the other hand, now have chronic bile acid diarrhea. Awesome. Thank you for watching. Write comments, put likes. Do not forget to watch other videos.